gland. And then this here, where all the tubes go in, would be the hilum. Is it? So the slit is the hilum. The renal artery is the red one. The renal vein is the blue one. The renal cortex is everything on the outside. So the furthest part back layer before you get to the papilla pyramids and the columns, like everything outside of that is your cortex. And then for the medulla, where you've got the pyramids and the columns, that's the medulla, but the center section is not the medulla because that's a different part. So it's basically 3 layers, and the medulla is the middle layer instead of the actual middle of the kidney. And then the renal pyramids, these are the renal pyramids. You can see them over here, they're the renal pyramids.
Oh, I didn't see. Can you point at that one more time?
Oh, renal pyramids, like this is a pyramid and this is a pyramid.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm bouncing back through models.
That's okay. And then the renal columns are the spots between the pyramids. So that's a column, and that's a column. You can see them better on this one. And that's a column, and that's a column. The renal papillae. Oh, okay. So the renal papillae are the very tips of the renal pyramids because they're the nipple-shaped part at the tip. Just the tip. Ooh, sorry about that. Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. The cortical radiate arteries. So if you see here in the cortex, you can see these red veins coming up. And over here, this is actually much better. These red veins coming up, these are the renal cortical radiate arteries. Yes, cortical radiate arteries. And the glomerular capillaries. Well, you see these bulbs that are kind of coming off the cortical renal things and how they go into the tubes? Well, the nephrons. This right here would be your glomerular capillaries, the red lines inside of that yellow circle.
I'm going to close up shop here in about 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes.
Okay. And then the capsule is the part that's around the outside of that circle. So the part that cases the capillary beds is your renal capsule, or your glomerular capsule. And then you need the proximal convoluted tubule. So this is your glomerular capsule, and then this part is closest to it, so that's your proximal convoluted tubules. And then this would be your loop of Henle. Yep, that is on there. The loop of Henle. And then the distal convoluted tubules are right here. And then you have your collecting duct, which goes down into the center. So the orange part here, that's the collecting duct. And then the minor calyx, so at the tip of the pyramid, which is your renal papilla, is the tip of the pyramid. At the tip of the pyramid, you have your minor calyx, which is a cup-shaped thing. It's kind of this right here. You can see how it Ys, like that way, and the nipple sticks into it. That's your minor calyx. And then your major calyx is where you've got at least 2 of these that meet together. So this part here is a major calyx. We got any other good ones? Like this part's got 2 going to it, so that's a major calyx. This would probably be a major calyx because there's 2 attached to that. And then you need the renal pelvis, is basically the collecting area where all of those calyxes are going to drain into, and it's basically going to be your urine lake in the middle of the kidney. And that's where it all collects right before it goes out.
Urine reservoir.
Yeah.
I like urine lake
Urine.
better.
Urine lake.
And then the ureter is the tube that comes out of the kidney and starts going down, although there's a small section at the top that goes by a different name. But yes, this part here is the ureter. And this part here is the ureter.
Well, what's number 20 on that
20.
model?
Your major and your minor. That's the renal pelvis.
That's the renal pelvis.
That's the renal pelvis, yeah. This part here
and
is the renal pelvis.
21s are major calyces.
Okay.
22s are minor.
21, 21, this is a 22, this is a 22. And that's everything on that one.